Hi everyone, it's Tina from Vibrant Travel. Sorry about the glare on my glasses. I'll try real hard not to look up too much. I thought I would take this time to talk to you about one of my favorite places and give you some tips on a trip to Paris. So as you can see, it's my Zoom background, of course. I'm not in Paris at the moment, but this is a wonderful little sidewalk cafe I visited while I was there, Café de la Comédie. If you get a chance, definitely try it. It's wonderful. The servers are amazing as well, and give it a shot when you're there. So here we go on a quick trip to Paris. What can you do if you're there for a week? I'll give you an idea of what you can do. Hitting the major hotspots. So this video is assuming that this is your first trip and you just want to hit the major spots with maybe some little extras tied in. So first, let me say you have to do the Louvre. If you're a museum person, even if you're not a museum person, the Louvre is a world famous museum. It houses so many works of art from a variety of genres. There's an Egypt exhibit. You've got some Impressionists. You have some of the masters. You have just so much. You can't see it in a full day. So let me recommend that you take one day just for the Louvre. Even if you just walk around the gardens, you don't have to see the whole thing. Couple of hints. First of all, when you go, get your tickets in advance online. Your travel agent can help you with all of those things as well, or you can do this yourself. Get them online and make sure that when you enter, unless you want to enter through the pyramid, which is sort of cool in itself, enter from a side door. The reason I say that is the line's going to be really long if you try to enter at the pyramid. But there are other entrances at the side that will take your tickets and let you in, and you're good to go once you get in. Maneuvering, it's a giant place. Maneuvering, I will say, was a little bit difficult. Once you get used to it, it's okay. I did a lot of running around. I think my knees hurt by the time it was over. But well worth the experience, and I would go back again for sure. So the Louvre, the first thing you want to do when you get in the Louvre, go see Mona Lisa, because if you don't, you're going to be in long lines. So if you can make your way to Mona first, you will be happy that you did that. The room, if you're claustrophobic, be aware it is a somewhat small room, but people will crowd in behind you. There's nothing you need to worry about, but if you are a little unsure when it starts getting tight in a room, you may find yourself uncomfortable in that room. If not, by all means, go see Mona Lisa. It's a once in a lifetime experience. It's much smaller than everyone thinks it is, but it is something really, truly to see. Of course, a few other major pieces that everyone wants to see: the Winged Victory, Venus de Milo. I kind of like the Egypt exhibit downstairs. That was fun. And the rooms go on and on. I don't have a quote for you. I wish I had prepared that to tell you just how immense this museum is. The museum actually was a castle. It had a moat, and if you go way down to the lower level, you'll get to see what it looked like, and actually see some of the walls are still there from the original building. But you'll see how many times the Louvre has been added to and rebuilt in certain sections. So it's really interesting to watch that at the basement level. So go see that. Also, since you're planning a day here and you'll be exhausted, you can eat in the Louvre. There are, some sort of snacky type places you can eat, a little cafe type where you can sit outside. Pretty good for breakfast if you go sit outside within the Louvre, but you're sitting on a backdrop. I actually have one that I use for my Zoom meetings as well, with sitting there. And so you can sit there and order quickie food there. Or if you want to have a sit down before you leave, there are some places you can do that too. The quickie food, the lines aren't too bad depending on when you go. And so if you just really don't, eating is not what you're thinking about when you're in the Louvre, then grab a quick bite, a sandwich or what have you, and you're good to go. Now, outside. So you can visit the gardens as well. It's real nice to walk through the gardens. You can see there's a smaller version. It's not the Arc de Triomphe, but it's an arc out there. You can see, and just walking around the grounds is really beautiful. The flowers blooming depending on when you go, and just all the buildings, the architecture. There's a crepe stand down there too if you get a little hungry when you leave. I visited many crepe stands, so take some time to wander around the gardens as well. And Paris is very walkable, so you can walk anywhere. We spent a lot of time actually passing through the Louvre grounds to get to places we want to go, and rather than go around, you can walk right through, and that's really nice too. If you like museums, I can't even begin to give you a list of museums. There are so many museums. The other one that people like for Impressionist works is Musée d'Orsay, which is across the Seine from the Louvre, and that I always recommend as well. So, so we've got one day out of the way. The one thing I will add to this is don't do it on the first day. When you arrive in Paris, if you're coming from the States, you're going to take an overnight flight. You will be exhausted when you get there, only because of the time change and you slept on the plane. Please sleep on the plane. That's another video. But sleep on the plane, because when you get there, you want to adapt to the time as quickly as possible. This is a wonderful experience to be in Paris. Look behind me at all these beautiful sights in Paris. And this is just a regular street about a block from the Louvre. But it's just so amazing. You want to absorb as much as you can while you're there. The culture, the people, the buildings, just the ambiance in Paris is amazing. And you can't do that if you're really tired. So my recommendation is don't do any of the things I'm talking about today on your first day, unless you want to do a pass by. On your first day, really do not sleep on the plane, get off, walk. Walk Paris. Paris is super walkable, like I mentioned earlier. Just walk around, go down to the Latin Quarter, walk by Notre Dame, walk by the Louvre, after you, of course, check into your hotel, and take in the sights. One thing that I think is really fun to do on the first day, and I tend to go in shoulder season, so you'll see me in Paris around, when I can plan it this way, around September or May, June. A little earlier, a little later is good too, but there are less crowds then. So one of the things I love to do on the first day is hop on the bateau bus. The bateau bus is a boat on the Seine, and it basically takes you to all the important places you want to go. When I was there, it was about $17 a day, or you can get 2-day, 3-day, 4-day passes, and it's good for 24 hours from the time you pick it up. So remember that, because if it's from the time you pick it up and you pick it up at the end of the day, you have until the whole end of the next day to use it. So you sort of get 2 days in it, and watch the time, because you don't want to count on a bateau bus when it's closed at night. So bateau bus, keep that in mind. Same thing with bateau bus, buy tickets in advance. The Louvre entrance or over by d'Orsay, maybe d'Orsay might be a little bit I'll use the word cleaner, but you can get on there. There are little windows. You will go down the stairs to the river, and that's where you'll get your tickets, at least for those stops. So now by the Eiffel Tower, it's on top. So just pick up a little map and it'll tell you all the information you need. So Bateau bus is great on the first day because you can just hop on and sit there and ride around the Seine for I'm going to say a couple of hours. I don't recall the exact time, but it stops at all the important places: Arc de Triomphe, Champs-Élysées, which is the same stop. If you want a really great view of the Eiffel Tower, this is it, because it stops at the Eiffel Tower. You're going to sit there. I have a really quick video that I did approaching the Eiffel Tower from the Seine. Amazing. And so the museums, it'll go by Notre Dame. I mean, it goes all over. So I think actually it might take you by the small Statue of Liberty too. So when we got the Statue of Liberty, 2 smaller replicas were made, and one sits on the Seine, and I think you can see it there. If not, you can see it by car. So spend the first day walking around, and then just go home, go to bed, and you will recover from jet lag so much faster if you do this. So please take my advice and do that. So we talked about Louvre and the gardens. We talked about d'Orsay. So let's talk a little bit about Eiffel Tower. Oh, one more thing on Bateau bus. If you're trying to get somewhere at a certain time, probably don't take Bateau bus, because if you get on going the wrong way, it's going to take you forever to get there. So if you've planned a tour, probably cab it or walk it, or leave enough time to take the Bateau bus, or the bus, or a train, or you can go anywhere so fast in Paris. So Eiffel Tower, 6 months in advance. Buy your tickets online 6 months in advance. If you want a tour, that a travel advisor can help you with tours if you're interested in taking a tour, because they can get you skip the line and a historical tour of the Eiffel Tower, so you can learn a little more about it. If you just want to go by yourself, make sure, and I caution you, because I did this, I waited too long. I got busy doing other things. I waited too long, and I had to buy a tour to skip the line because the tickets sell out. So buy your tickets in advance, go to the top. When you buy tickets, the tickets from the Eiffel Tower website, the tickets are tiered. So you're going to have first level, elevator, or walk, and then go to the top. I don't think you can walk to the top. If you could, more power to you, but I don't have that energy anymore. So I'm taking the elevator. So buy your tickets in advance. The top is amazing. If you're afraid of heights, look, guys, I'm afraid of heights, and I was able to do it. Close my eyes on the way up. Kept my eyes open on the way down, but closed my eyes on the way up, and it was worth it. I did not get too close to the edge, but except for one picture, so I can say I did. But really, if you're going to Paris, it's just the view from the top is amazing. You can see all of Paris. You can see Montmartre off to the side. You can see the one skyscraper in Paris that sort of stands out. I have a video about, actually I think it's a blog and a blog about going up in the Eiffel Tower, and you can reference that if you'd like. Food. So there is food and souvenirs on every floor. They have everything from elegant to fast food there. So if you want to grab a sandwich, or on the top you can have champagne and a macaroon, which is a must-do. And if you've been running around all day or what have you, and you just want to grab a bite to eat, you can do that in there as well. I always recommend at least grabbing a macaroon while you're there, and stay at the top and look outside. It's really wonderful. Very important. I think we all know about the love locks. If you don't, you can buy a lock, like lock you would put on a bicycle or on a on anything you want to enclose. You don't want anyone to get into. So you can buy a lock, and they're called love locks. So the story is that, you know, you lock it. Normally it's on a bridge. You put it on a bridge and you lock it, and you'll love that person forever. So there are lots of locks locked onto things everywhere, and they take them down. The Eiffel Tower will you will go through a ton of security to get into the Eiffel Tower, at least 2 stops of security. They will scan everything, and they will take the lock. So if you bought a lock, yep, I bought a lock. And if you buy a lock, they will take it from you. So I lost my little lock. I really bought it for an ornament. It was about this big, but they won't let you bring any locks on there, because think about it. If you are fumbling with a lock way up top there and you drop it, people are all around underneath there. So so they do not allow that. And so Eiffel Tower, must do. The next one is, of course, Notre Dame. We all know about the big fire they had last year, and you probably can, I know they started services already shortly thereafter, but you may be able to go in, if you can, definitely go in, at least walk around. You can see it from the Seine on the bateau bus, or if you charter a boat on the Seine to go around, you can see it there, and it's beautiful. You can walk by it. You can get reasonably close. We went right after the fire, so we obviously couldn't get close last time we were there, but I've been inside. It's just a beautiful church, and that's in the Latin Quarter. I can go on for a while about the Latin Quarter. It's loads of fun. The people are really nice. A lot of students. There's a Shakespeare and Company bookstore, which has been there. You can see how old it is. I mean, it's just amazing to look around Paris. If you like that kind of thing, and I just love old architecture, you will just enjoy sitting there looking around, honestly. I'm in love with the ambiance of Paris. I really need to go back soon. I'm itching, especially right now, as you know, we're all itching to go somewhere. Saint-Germain. So if you're a shopper and a foodie, Saint-Germain-des-Prés is the place to go. The road is, I think the street is called Avenue de Saint-Germain, if I'm not mistaken, and that's where you'll see a lot of the shopping. Now, they have shopping everywhere, honestly. Champs-Élysées is another place that everyone goes for shopping as well. They have department stores, and they have boutiques, and they have little like marketplaces in the buildings, and just so much. If you want to, I'm going to use the bateau bus just because I used it, but you don't have to. If you take it and you get off at the Champs-Élysées stop, just so you know, it's a reasonable walk to the Champs-Élysées. It's not bad if you're used to walking. It wasn't a big deal for me, and I walked there, so it's fun to walk along the Champs-Élysées, and this is probably a half-day thing you can do. I think I did. I could be wrong, but I think we did Champs-Élysées, Arc de Triomphe, and Eiffel Tower all in the same day. But so it's a nice walk because you walk by these gorgeous museums. Quick note, when you get off a lot of the different modes of transportation, and that's where the pickpockets hang out. So if people come running up to you to take a survey, they're not going to, to the best of my knowledge, they're not going to hurt you. We didn't have any problems other than them coming up to us, and sometimes there are a lot of them, and they will come up in mass, and you simply firmly say no and walk, and you'll be fine. We did not have anybody ever follow us. Once you say no, they move on to the next person. And they really just want you, they're going to tell you it's for children, and they'll tell you all kinds of things. But what they really want is for you to stop long enough to, grab something out of your purse. Or your pocket or whatever. It's very, very common around the major tourist attractions. I personally, I can only speak for myself, felt very safe in Paris, and I brought my niece with me, and I would never take her anywhere that's not safe. So for my level of comfort, and you need to judge your own, I found it to be a very safe place. So Champs-Élysées, so you're walking down Champs-Élysées. When you get to Arc de Triomphe, and the walk is fun too. Oh, there's a, darn, I'm not going to be able to remember the name of it. When you get to the gallery, when you get to the gallery, it's a big, huge department store, Galerie Lafayette. Go in. It's fun to just walk around, and they have an eatery downstairs, and it's a fun place just to walk around. So hop in and walk around there. So next stop is the Arc de Triomphe. You can see it from when you're walking Champs-Élysées. It's right there, and you will as you're walking. I don't know if it's up or down, but as you're walking, you'll be approaching it. You have to go through a tunnel to get there, because if you've seen pictures of Arc de Triomphe, there are it's rotary, so, or roundabout, depending on what you call it. So you can't. It's very difficult to cross the street. So you go underneath in the tunnel. If you want to go into the Arc de Triomphe, because there's like a observation on top. If you want to go in, you have to buy a ticket in the tunnel underneath. So you'll come up at the Arc de Triomphe. You don't have to go to the top. You can just walk around, and that's basically what we did. We just walked around and took pictures of the rotary and traffic, and it's really again something. It's a historic location, and something that that I highly recommend. You just pop under there and take a look. So we've done a lot so far. So another must-do, which is, there are so many. I'm trying to limit it if I can. And there's a little bit outside of Paris proper is Montmartre. Montmartre is where Sacré-Cœur is, and it's Sacred Heart Church. Beautiful church. Really interesting buttresses on top of the church. The section is a few blocks away from Moulin Rouge. So if you want to see Moulin Rouge too, you can go there. It took us about, we took the bus and we missed the bus on the way back. So we took a cab. It took about 20 minutes by cab to get back to our hotel, which was close to the Louvre. So we were in the heart of everything. So we just had so much fun in Montmartre, we lost track of time. So things you want to do when you're there. You have to climb quite a few stairs, or take, there's like a little tram that will take you to the top. You can do either one. There are a lot of artisans down there selling mostly trinkets that they probably bought in mass, but you'll find some unique things there, a lot of hats and little mini Eiffel Towers. But if you choose to take the stairs, it's a little bit of a hike, but it's worth it. It's doable. And you go to the top, the view, and I will post after this video some of the pictures of things I'm talking about, but the view is amazing. You can do a panorama from the stairs right in front of Sacré-Cœur of all of Paris. Just stunning. If you like that kind of thing, you'll love it. And of course, go into Sacré-Cœur, and you can walk around. You can light candles. They have a little gift shop. You can do all of that in Sacré-Cœur. And then walk down the street to, there's a square where all the artists are. And you can, there are lots of cafes along the side, and there's one in the middle, and you can go sit, have a glass of wine, and just chat. And that's where we got in trouble because we sat there and chatted and had time. Now, I will tell you, the servers take their time. They are in no hurry. They're in no hurry to bring you the bill, and they're in no hurry to take your order. But but the food there is okay. I mean, I enjoyed it. My niece loved her creme brulee. We actually had a meal there. And she had her first glass of wine. She was of legal drinking age, but she wanted to have a glass of wine. So that was wonderful. We got to share that together, and I really enjoyed that. The other thing you do, one generally does when you're in this section of town, is buy some art. You can buy everything from a small 8 by 10, 5 by 7 art, original art, to some of the larger pieces. Take a good look at the art and see if it looks original to you or not before you buy it. They'll be painting. I don't know if they start them somewhere else or what, because oil paint takes a year to dry, so I'm not sure. But I always buy something anyway because I'm in Paris and I want to buy a little piece of art, so I bought something. And you can also have a caricature. I say a caricature, but they actually do a drawing of you. And I have some pictures. I'll post one of my niece having a drawing done of her. So I have a little her and the drawing in there. I ask permission, always ask permission if you can take a picture of what they're doing. And so it was great. It was such a wonderful experience. The cab ride home was another wonderful experience, but that's for another video. Just the one thing I'll tell you is if you're nice to people, they're nice back. And we just had a really great cab ride back to the hotel. Montmartre. Anything else? Oh, they also have a lot of gift shops as well there. Walk around the little section of town. There are some, if you like to take pictures of architecture or downtowns or very European looking downtowns, it's all here and it's just beautiful. So take the pictures. There are other things you can do. There's a museum under Sacré-Cœur. We did not wait in line for that. We decided we were hungry and we wanted to go eat something. I think that's probably it for that. The other thing is if you take like a big red bus or one of the buses up there, like the tour buses, make sure you watch the time, unless you mind taking a cab home. We didn't mind. We took a cab home. It was a little far to walk. You can take the metro there too, by the way. The metro lets you off. Just watch. You might go off in the red light district. And that's called Pigalle. So just watch for that. No one will hurt you there either. So we decided the big red bus was probably the way we wanted to go. And we got a quickie tour of Paris on our way there. So that was good. It was day 2. We slept in a little bit and then did the second half, which is probably also why we were a little late, and did that. So that was fun. Short walk from the hotel. Like I say, everything. If you want a good hotel, get central. You can go everywhere. If you want quiet, get out by Eiffel Tower. So those are my must-dos if you have, like five or so days in Paris. Now, there are lots of side trips you can take. We actually were there 6 or 7 days. Can't remember how long. And we did take some side trips as well to Versailles. I actually do have a video on that, so I won't talk about Versailles and the Trianon. Or you can go places like, you can go to Normandy. We did do that as well. You can go to Normandy, Rouen, Cayenne. Mont Saint-Michel is a really cool place. It's an island and a walled city, if you will, on an island, and really cool place to go. But that's a side trip. That's a day trip. And Giverny, of course, which is Monet's home and his gardens. So you can see where he painted the lilies and where he painted the bridge. Some of his famous painting. I don't know those exact names, but so ambiance things you need to do while you're in Paris. I just have a couple. The first one is grab a baguette. Grab some hard sausage or meat. If you're a vegetarian, grab some, some vegetables. I love the baguette, the sausage, the cheese, and have a little picnic. Something, you can go sit in the Louvre, you can sit in Tuileries Gardens. There's just so much to see. I've covered a fraction of what there is to see in Paris. But so that's a must do. You just have to do it because it's Paris. It's the way they do things. The other thing is a cafe, like I'm sitting in right now, or what looks like I'm sitting in right now. Have at least one breakfast, whether it's just a croissant and coffee or a full breakfast. Usually outside, it's it's the simpler croissant coffee. You normally will go in for the extra, but depends on the cafe you pick. But so have at least one breakfast and have at least one lunch and or dinner at a sidewalk cafe. It's wonderful. You can see it's raining. We didn't get wet at all. You can see the heaters sort of up there behind me. And the experience is live like a Parisian. The experience is wonderful. I'm not saying they do this all the time, but I can tell you at breakfast, I saw so many people. They were with their laptops. They came, they did whatever their morning routine was on their laptop, had a cup of coffee. Will warn you, a lot of smokers outside. If you're not a smoker or you're not accustomed to smoke, you will get that outside. And but do that, live that experience. Food you have to try. Escargot, yes, but you always have to be careful where you get escargot. Any kind of shellfish, you do have to be careful about that. But you got to have a crepe with Nutella. It is the most popular, but they make crepes with everything in them. And try it everywhere you go. You'll see crepes everywhere. I mentioned the Louvre. I had them everywhere around there. So get a crepe. I do love the Nutella crepes. And you have to have a macaroon while you're there. Again, you'll see those everywhere. Don't buy the ones in the airport. They're stale. So don't buy those and bring them home and give them away. They're stale. Go into a bakery. Go into a cafe. Sit outside. Go inside. Try the little stands that you'll see everywhere. The crepe stands really are amazing, but they always have other things as well. I just think that if you're going to be there and you want an authentic experience, authenticity comes in sometimes the simpler things that you do. If you're there and you can depending on what you're doing, if you're taking a tour and not doing this yourself, try and get a cooking lesson while you're there. I mean, how fun would that be to learn French cooking while you're in France? And the Seine trips, you can take a sunset cruise on the Seine and watch the sun go down. The Eiffel Tower does a wonderful display at night. You can take a tour of the major sites at night and see them lit up. So there's just so many ways to experience the Paris ambiance that try to pack in as many as you can. I do have, this is not going to work very well with my Zoom background, so I'm sure you can't see this too well, but bateau bus. So you can see I'm trying to get a picture before it disappears. There it is, little bus on the Seine. But you pick up one of these and it will give you all the instructions on where you go and when and how it works. The other thing I'm going to recommend to you, if you're going to take a trip but not a tour, this book, Walking Paris, is wonderful. It breaks Paris into sections, and you can decide where you want to go by section and what you want to see by section. So if you want to do the Latin Quarter today, then it'll tell you where to go in the Latin Quarter in a day. It gives you some quick other things too, but real nice book. I usually buy books when I'm planning trips that are not tours or river cruises or what have you. I'll pick up something like that allows me to walk around on my own. And even if you're on a river cruise, as an example, and some of them do have side excursions to Paris, but if you are doing that and you know you're not going to do an excursion, you're going to do it on your own, or you're going to come in early or stay late, it's always good to pick up something like that. And ask your travel advisor too. That person can give you lots of information. Sorry, I'm fading in and out with my Zoom background. I'm trying to sit funny so that it doesn't do that. But get as much knowledge as you can before you go. I think you'll enjoy the experience. And I'll leave you with one thought. I know I've been on here a while. I'll leave you with one thought. People say that Parisians or people from France are rude. And I'll tell you, that's not my experience. I've been a few times. And the one thing that will make a difference is kindness breeds kindness. You walk into, and I did this in every place I went, if you walk into um, a, a bakery, a restaurant, a shop, anywhere, the hotel, bonjour. First thing you say to anyone, you make eye contact, you say bonjour, good day. They might tell you it's night and you should say bonsoir. I had that happen once. Do it, because the nicer you are to people, the nicer they'll be to you. And I found that I met so many nice people in France just by that simple kindness of saying hello and acknowledging their presence as I walked into places. I got a French lesson in a nice way in the Latin Quarter from someone that I said, parlez-vous anglais? Do you speak English? And everyone does. But he said, no, you have to try. And he helped me. I just wanted to say, I want one of every macaroon in the store. and the translation seemed very long for one of each, but he helped me through it, and we had a great experience in that store. We bought a few things, and we did buy one of every macaroon, and so we could try them all. So kindness breeds kindness, and I think the world is a better place when we do that anyway. So sorry, I'm fading out here. I hate to do that to you, and I look like I'm leaning, but I'm really not. If you need help planning any trips, obviously we're here to help you, but my intent today is just to tell you about a place I really love, and hope that you have a chance to go there too. So have a wonderful day, dream of travel again, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.